If there's one thing we've learned from Helldivers 2, it's that the swarm of bugs and rampaging robots putting Super Earth at risk are in need of a big dose of lead-wrapped democracy. We've put together these 13 essential tips and tricks to help you stay alive and inflict the kind of freedom these monstrosities so desperately deserve. Helldivers 2 puts the burden on you to manage your weapons. Aiming is fickle, especially when you are moving, so it pays to stop and shoot rather than run and gun. Friendly fire is always on, so you should always be keenly aware of sightlines and whatever crosses in front of it. You will always want to reload sparingly since a discarded magazine takes all the bullets inside with it. Many primary weapons have multiple firing modes that you can change, like rate of fire. Hold the reload button to toggle between them and experiment to see which works best for you. This is also where you can change the zoom on certain scoped weapons and turn on the flashlight to light up dark maps. The tutorial does an excellent job of covering how important stratagems will be for you throughout the game. But when you're out on your very first mission, you'll see just how essential they really are. Whether it's restocking ammo, calling down specific weapons, or wiping out an army of bugs, use your stratagems. Some have limited uses, but quite a few are unlimited, so don't be shy about pulling them out. These will form part of your loadout before each mission, so you can swap them in and out to test the ones you like the best. As a Helldiver, you should be prepared to give your life for Super Earth, and that chainsaw-armed, legally distinct Terminator is only too happy to oblige you. You will die, and that's okay, and it's not something to worry about. While you can play solo, you will almost certainly have more success with a squad. You can assemble a team on your own or matchmake, and the added firepower makes a difference. It also allows you to do things like buddy reload certain weapons like the recoilless rifle and open doors with two buttons that are just too far apart for you to reach on your own. Keep in mind that while everyone has their own stratagems with individual cooldowns, supply drops are shared, so play nice and don't take more than your fair share. If someone dies, you can immediately respawn them with a reinforcement stratagem as long as it has a stock left. Once it runs out, you can still bring teammates back, but it will be on a 2-minute cooldown. You get more XP for every squad member that successfully extracts, so it's worth calling in these reinforcements before you escape the battlefield.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
While spreading freedom to the far reaches of space is a noble goal on its own, there are some tangible rewards to sweeten the deal. Helldivers 2 has 4 currencies to earn and spend. Requisition slips are largely based on your performance completing missions and are used to unlock new stratagems. Medals also come at the end of levels, with compounding payouts for undertaking multiple parts of missions that have been grouped together. These can be traded in for war bond rewards, like new weapons or armor. Samples are collected in the field and pay for ship module upgrades. Finally, super credits are a premium currency that can be found while exploring, unlocked via war bonds or purchased for real-world money. These are used to buy equipment from a rotating inventory in the superstore. Upgrades are expensive, and it can take several long missions to earn enough for your next purchase. It may be tempting to spend right away, but it is worth being patient until you reach higher levels before cashing in. We recommend saving until you reach level 5 if you're able. Here you'll unlock the Gatling Sentry, which is just a better version of the machine gun sentry, the sniper, and the napalm strike. The ship module upgrades are equally important. These will directly affect your stratagems, and you can see which ones will be influenced in the bottom right corner on each ship module upgrade. These can do everything from increasing your magazine size to reducing cooldowns. Ideally, you should focus on the modules that benefit the stratagems that you use the most, like hangar upgrades if you like using eagle strikes, or the robotics workshop if you're a fan of sentry turrets. When you set off on a mission, you'll get quite a bit of time to complete it. So if you want to make the most of a planet, don't beeline for the main objectives. Instead, take the time to explore it thoroughly. Open the map and scan around to identify points of interest. Investigating these is how you end up finding loot like extra medals and requisition slips, interesting information logs, and more. If you can't see any points of interest immediately, look for flashing beacons in the distance or question marks on your compass at the top of your screen. Most maps feature secondary objectives that can be completed for additional rewards when you finish the mission. These include destroying bug nests and robot factories, exploding buildings sending illegal broadcasts, and the occasional modest warhead launch. These will net bonus XP, requisition slips, and additional ordnance stratagems you can deploy for the rest of that mission. There are a lot of things trying to kill you, and plenty of other things, like these turrets, that couldn't care less if they turn you into pink mist. When the bullets and acid vials start flying, the best move is to often dive for the nearest cover. A quick double tap of the crouch button will send you leaping in a direction, which can help you avoid a horde of snapping maws, and keeping your head down is a great way to avoid friendly fire. When you stand on the bridge of your ship, you may see an icon on the bottom corner of your screen for orders. These are bonus objectives, like kills with a certain weapon, and you can complete these across multiple missions for extra rewards. The personal orders update every day and rewards you with medals for completing them. Major orders last multiple days and will provide you with requisition slips if you get them done on time. Things can be destroyed in Helldivers 2. Shocking, I know. And some of the optional objectives will encourage you to blow places to bits. Sometimes when you find a point of interest, you'll see crates or doors nearby. Throw a grenade to open them and find even more loot. There's a timer for every mission, but it's not a strict time limit for your squad. Once it reaches 0, you can still extract. However, you will no longer have access to stratagems, including reinforcements. Things are much harder without these tools at your disposal. The extraction shuttle is automatically summoned, giving you 2 minutes to get out. That small buffer can mean the difference between failing your objectives and escaping by the skin of your teeth. If you know the timer is about to expire, you can call in any weapons, supplies, and turrets while you can, and focus on getting to the extraction. When you die, you'll drop certain things like weapons and samples. As soon as someone dies, pick up any samples they drop so they don't go missing. Samples are split between your team anyway, so you'll be doing everyone a favor by getting them again. If you aren't sure where things were dropped, you can always open your minimap. The equipment and samples will be marked with icons. Which difficulty you choose can have an outsized impact on your rewards. Theoretically, higher difficulties come with the potential for better payouts at the end. In reality, barely making it out after doing the bare minimum can take much longer and reward you less than thoroughly clearing a map on easier difficulty. If you are up to the challenge of harder missions, then you should plan accordingly. They frequently feature heavily armored units. Try to have at least one contingency, like Eagle rocket pods or an anti-material rifle, to crack their defenses. Occasionally, you will have missions to eliminate a fixed number of enemies and then extract. These are fast missions that are good for quickly earning medals. They also have samples for you to collect. It can be tough to gather those during the fight, but once you finish the last wave of enemies, you'll be left alone until you board the extraction shuttle. That means you can take your time to safely search and fill your pockets with samples before making your getaway. Basically, kill the enemies and then loot. For more on Helldivers 2, make sure to check out our video on the 5 best early game stratagems to unlock first. And of course, make sure to head on over to IGN.com to check out our growing Helldivers 2 wiki. And for everything else video games, stick with IGN.